Thank you for being here. Hope you've had a lovely week. And we're going to open up ourselves, take some deep breaths, stretch the body, expand the performance of our vessel here. So thank you for being here for this. All right. So let's start with some posture tips. Keep the weight into the ball of the feet and open the feet, right? So the feet are going to spread out. And then as you shift the weight forward, the toes will come down and just kind of balance. You'll feel the inside of the heels touch. But the weight is basically sprung at this point. You're floating over the muscles as opposed to leaning back and sitting on the spine, which goes up into the legs into the back and creates that pitch. Okay? Weight into the heels creates that pitch. Whereas if we pitch that forward, hold with the toes, we can lift the hip a little bit, get the spine straight. So we're going to feel the spine today, for sure. Okay. Chin is down, crown of the spine is lifting, shoulders are open. And we'll take this inhale up, turn the hand over, straighten the arm and push the hip out. Just feel the entire side body go. Use the inhale to expand into the rib cage and push from the center of the bed. Create that space, the intercostals opening. Use the hip drop and the shoulder lift to accentuate that. Also to come into the back muscles, maybe turn down a little bit. Roll up. Expand underneath the arm, right? Stretch this muscle right here in the pec. Shoulder behind the head. And then we'll repeat that to the other side. Exhale, relax, inhale. And push out. And drop the hip, lift the shoulder away. Stretch into the back by rolling forward, stretch into the chest by rolling back. And release. All right. So hands to the back. Push into the hip. Open the shoulders back. Easy back bend. Let the head come into the cradle. Breathe through the nose. And as we release, the inhale, we bend the knees, create a seat, and hands come into the thigh. Open the shoulders back. Press the hips down and away from the shoulders. Breathe. Lengthen the spine. Snap, crackle, pop. And then release into the hands, slide down the shins. Lean into the toes. Let the lower back find its roundness. Relax the chin towards the chest. And with each breath, find the floor a little closer. Lean forward back into the ball of the foot. Sway the hips side to side. Maybe bend the right knee, bend the left knee, alternating. Stretch into the sciatic area, top of the hip. The hip meets the back. Feel the weight transfer in the feet. Feel the knees. Feel the back of the knees. Especially the inside and outside lines of the tendons. Ligaments. All right, let's bend the knees and gently inhale, rise up. Keep that inhale going all the way to the top. And release. All right, so let's spin the spine a little bit. Lead with the back arm. Feel the weight transfer in the feet. And stop the transfer to affect different parts of the spine. Upper and lower being separated by maybe where the arms swing. Swing the arms lower, separate the feet to get into the lower spine. Just like that. Letting the legs come to be a part of the stretch. Locking the femur into the hip and rotating the hip away. Rolling over the feet. Ankle release. One more hip check. All right, let's roll the arms. You do that for a while. Just feeling the collarbone, feeling the top of the pec here, feeling its motion. By touching, we're creating a kind of a sonar with our fingertips, feeling that maybe there's a click in the shoulder, seeing if we can identify right where it is, visualize it, breathe into that space, release whatever tension is holding it. All right, let's change arms. About 30 each side. Get the blood into the fingers, let them throw. And let's stop that. So while I'm doing that, I'm certainly exploring whatever is connected to it immediately, maybe in the hip, to the lower rib cage, or maybe the neck. So I'm using the motion, constantly exploring what I need to work on today in this moment to get the body back to feeling kind of ironed out. Okay, good. Let's put the feet together. Roll the knees. Shift the weight into the ball of the feet. Feel like you're playing a piano. You're rolling across the ball of each toe. Making a good circle around the center of the big toes. Reverse. Let the heat build. Breathe through the nose. Stay calm. All right, let's separate the feet. So if you get the burning lactic acid buildup, use the breath to dissipate that heat, because it's going to teach us, physiologically how to move that tension through the body. Okay, arms are out, shoulders are down. Making fists without lifting the wrist. Flat hands, basically. Okay. Gentle push in the knees, down about 3 inches, down to about 6 or 7, and back up to 3. Feel the glutes engage, feel the perineum, calves. Relax the toes and then make sure the weight is pitched gently forward. Relax the neck. Again, you're feeling that heat building up in the forearms. Use the breath to pass that lactic acid, that burn, through the body, dissipate it, give the muscles their energy back, their range of motion. So 97, 98, 99, 100, very good. Let's press. All right. And we're going to turn to one side. We'll sit into the knee. The knee goes over the toe or over the ankle. We'll sit back. We're just going to cut right here, like we're sawing. Just going to work this muscle right underneath the thigh, right here in the groin. And this back leg, we're not loading up on the ankle. We're staying in here on the ball of the foot and keeping this knee strong by bending it. I'm staying on this line, just working right here, feeling how the big toe is grabbing, the weight of the heel of the big toe, kind of flexing through my foot, seeing if I have any cramping coming on. Working my toes, working the weight, maybe getting lower. This isn't working. Maybe that'll work. But you could always stay on your mat. Just building that heat. sawing through the hip, sitting up straight, creating space right here. Okay, so we're going to sit forward, put the elbow down. And just lean into the arm a little bit, turn the chest up. Working on a fatigue muscle here, so just breathe into it, let it relax. As it relaxes, it should open. Put that hip through. Roll the chest up. We're pushing off of this arm to get the chest away. To what degree, it's up to you. Don't let that foot slip away. All right, let's come into this. Shorten the stance a little bit, turn forward, do a nice forward bend. I'm just going to hold that hip. Hold that hip like this. Get this hip to roll forward. I'm right into bend. Just let the body go down. But keep it moving. Keep it moving. Wiggle the hips. Push down the big toe. Relax the shoulders and neck. That knee is strong and straight. All right, let's bend the knee and rise up. Inhale, breathe through the nose, and pivot the feet. Okay, so here we are. We're working on this side. It's a totally different experience, the opposite side experience. Just appreciate it for what it is. You can feel different positions working. Maybe you'll feel something on the back leg more. You need to separate the feet more. You'll notice more flexibility on one side. Remember, if this is your more flexible side, you're going to resist a little more with the muscles. Try to build the muscle resistance so that it's not letting go on one side with the hypertension on the other side, pulling it out of alignment. Relax the hips down underneath, so you tuck the hips up a little bit. Stay right on that line. Centered, ear over shoulder over hip. For me, I'm noticing more weakness on this back side. I just stretched. I'm noticing a lot of flexibility here. So I'm actually working very strong on building this back side as I push in. I'm committing to this resisting and this getting the extra effort. Which again makes sense. Everything on our bodies are working in a strength give and take scenario. So the more strength on one side, probably the more flexibility to allow it on the other. Vice versa. Okay, I'll sit forward here, drop the elbow down, and just lean into that very fatigued thigh. So sitting up straight, keeping the weight in the center, holding a good line. Using that arm to create the resistance coming from the ball of the foot. The ball of the foot's popping up, but I'm losing it to the outside. I want to hold that flexibility right there. Breathing through the nose. Relaxing, looking down. Pressing back up, and we'll shorten this stance over here. And that in. Squeeze that leg forward, and then again, pushing the hip back. Coming forward, lengthening, letting the hip drop. Giving some resistance because I'm reminded this side needs to build up. It's more flexible, so I'm holding this a little stronger. Then I'll relax down. And stay in motion. Stay in motion. Knee strong, straight. Relax the neck. And bend the knee. And now rise up. Turn it to the center. Kick that out a little bit. Stand up tall, feel the strength. Okay, we'll work with the arms a little bit here. Keep the shoulders down. Okay, so body is embedded. Then we're going to pull the shoulders back. Let's see if you can see this from the side. Pull the shoulders back, up, over the top, forward and down, and relax where you started. Back, up, forward, down, where they started. Now, don't go wild unless you have a good soundtrack playing in the background. But it's just the swim stroke with the shoulder. Use the entire shoulder blade. Don't try to lift without lifting and engaging underneath the arms, across the back. Feel the spine as you engage. Feel the muscles of the back pulling against that. So it's, again, it's not just the shoulders lifting, but the entire shoulder blade apparatus coming up underneath and just propelling the shoulders up and forward. So you get this clean motion here, kind of like a train. Okay, so our arms are out here, we're rolling forward. Just think of it as a massage. Stand up tall, breathe. This is the inhale, this is the exhale, this is the inhale, this is the exhale. Chest opening, inhale, chest closing, exhale. Okay, let's reverse. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and let's relax. So if you have an item that's serving as a couch or a table, you just turn the hands around, sit down, and come forward. If you're working exclusively with a mat, then we'll just sit down and come forward. And maybe move the knees side to side. Keep the chest in the center by lifting the sternum. And be gentle because we're exploring here at an angle. So we're just creating that space to warm. If it's warm, we should be able to feel it. If we can feel it, we can, in a controlled way, move into it safely. Just test its range and its strength. Much different than throwing something around. All right, we'll move the hips back towards the shoulder. And bring the hand behind. Just the fingers, really. Just the fingers. Not the whole arm. Just the fingers. I'll put one knee up and just close the elbow towards the center. If I can do both at the same time, that's fantastic. No injuries necessary. No injuries necessary. Just pulling that in. Move the head around. And let's relax then. Okay, very good. So we're right here in the kneeling position. If you're on the couch, you'd be doing the same thing. Okay. We're going to be doing something where we're basically getting up. Okay, we're just going to work through the knees. Now, the critical element here is going to be where the weight is on the foot. So if the weight is in the heel, then that's going to set you back again into your spine. So you want to have the weight into the toe. So we're in this same position. We'll bring one leg across and push forward. Okay. Push forward, slide the hips up and come back. Switch. And when I switch, I'm pushing down on this knee as much as I'm pulling forward. So I'm just moving the hips over and massaging the knee. Crossing. This is the exhale. This is the inhale. This is the exhale. So knee injuries, inability to fold the knee completely. Wonderful, wonderful. Wonderful that you're still moving and you're still practicing. How about that? So I'll let that one knee go, and I'll just get forward and load that front knee. Load it and sit back. And then I'll cross and just load the knee until I feel comfortable. And then load the knee. And if I can do a little more, I'll come down here like this. I'll sit back and sit up. Test my range. Sit back and sit up. Really want to use the couch. Sit down, sit up. Sit down. Now I'm not pushing at a funny angle here on the knee. I'm not twisting it. The knee is lined up with where the foot goes. So I want the weight, I want the bottom going towards the foot. The bottom always goes towards the foot or the shin to get up. Working both sides, changing sides left and right. So if I were sitting here, tailbone always going towards the knee so that the knee is closed, and I'm pushing down through the femur into a solid tuberosity here in the front of the knee, a solid bone. I'm not pushing up against the shin here where I'm actually, now I'm pushing down, I'm pushing up on the foot, and now I'm torquing. If I torque the knee, this would be like a lotus pose, would be bad for the knee, right? So we're in this coming forward. All right, knees are pretty warm. Knees are pretty warm. Let's come to a squat here. Could be done on the sofa also. And just elbows over knees. Walk the feet in, closing the knees. Closing the knees some more, stretching the ankles here. Closing the knees some more, maybe pulling forward. Lower back. Relax the neck, pull into the lower back. Closing the knees. All right, so we're going to leave the hands down and rise up, find the breath. Inhale through the nose, lean forward, let the heels turn back. So let the heels turn back in the forward bend. Hands on the hips with the exhale. Inhale, rise. And we're going to just turn to one side. We're going to lift the toes. Now here comes the pressure on that knee. Okay? Here comes the pressure on this knee. So we can choose how we're going to do that. And the distance that our foot is from the other, from the stance. But notice that my weight is going pretty much straight down. Okay? I'm going to go into this bend. I can go two hands on top. I can go split. Okay? And if you've got great balance, you can hold the foot and bring the opposite elbow to the knee slowly. Just hold the arm. You're bringing that elbow. Deep breath. And we'll change sides. Let's rise up. Oh, yes. So I'll turn. Lift the heel. Find the distance. I'm much closer. If you find the last one difficult, closer, you know, you've still got your move here. So whatever challenge that you're working towards, that's where you step. Okay? The box fits the water. The water fits the box. Okay, so pushing here. Pushing here. Holding. Twisting in. And breathing. And let's rise up. Nice and slow. And march out the knees. Wonderful. Okay, So elbows. So if we think in terms of the hands, we're going to think the arms are heavy. And you can just do that now. Think about your hands and move your arms like you're talking in Italy. Hey. Okay. Now, if I put my mind into my elbows and my hands are just happening to be an extension of the elbow, but I think about the elbows, in some ways I can lighten up on the hands. Just think about the elbows. Think about the elbows. Then think about the hands. Now, is this psychological? I don't know. Probably is, but guess what controls the body? The psyche. So here's where we focus. We're going to focus on the elbow, which will relax the shoulders. Okay? So focus on the elbows. Everything relaxes down. The more tension we have in the hands, the more the shoulders want to lift. Okay? So think about that. That also comes to other principles about the hands, but essentially relaxing, letting the shoulders sit, and then we're just going to let the arms flop. Okay? But the elbows are where we're focused. So we just focus on the hinge, kind of watch the levers move. I'm going shoulder, hip. I'm just letting that tricep fire and bicep. Okay? Tricep and bicep. As I'm bringing the arm down, I'm just stopping it gently right before it snaps to a complete halt. I don't want to throw my arm into like a tennis elbow situation where I snap the elbow. Right as it comes down and it's touching the hand, I'm grabbing with the bicep and pulling it up. And right as it touches here, I'm throwing it with the tricep and letting it fall the rest of the way. So I'm firing the bicep tricep rapidly. Bicep tricep, bicep tricep, bicep tricep. I don't know if that sounded accurate, but that's about how we're doing. We just let the heat build in the elbow because we're focused on the elbow. And that's why the shoulders haven't climbed up here yet. We're keeping that area relaxed. And just letting the two big muscle groups here fire. Keeping good posture, we know we have a good base. If the shoulders are slouching, this isn't going to work well. It kind of looks like spoons. Hey. So we'll keep good posture. Just keep moving. Okay, we're going to shake that out. We're going to turn the hand out, reach underneath, give a nice straighten to that. Straighten the biceps, pull. Turn the hand down like the hitchhiking. Turn it down, pull the shoulders down, and change sides. Straighten. Straighten. Pull into the arms. Feel the back lengthening away from the fingertips. All right. So next we're going to do an elbow stretch here. So we're using the couch. We're just going to put the knee right on top of the elbow. So above the elbow here, not below the elbow. Okay, above the elbow. Okay, I can just step right on my hand, push right into the elbow. Of course, this works on the floor wonderfully. Don't even need to step on the hand. I'm just leaning, turn the hand back, push the knee right into the tricep. Of course, it's a tricep massage. Relax this part of the shoulder. Just take that pressure point release. If you don't feel the pressure point, you missed it. Dig around, you'll find something. The knee the knee is like a boulder. You're finding the points of that boulder and rolling it into the different muscles. I can go up the tricep almost to the shoulder here if I get repositioned. Now I feel a deeper stretch to the forearm. So this is all exploration. Keeping that shoulder back, not letting that shoulder roll forward out of position. That shoulder back and sit up into it as the knee goes forward. So everything stays in alignment. We're just testing the connections in good alignment. One of the big problems that we'll have is that we're testing our connections out of alignment. Of course, they're not designed to work that way, so they fail. For all kinds of reasons. All right, that hand is pretty much toast. That elbow is cooked. Let's paint the fence a little bit here. Change legs, change sides. Put that hand down. Start right there, knee above the elbow. And I'm
shrugging the shoulders down as I do this, making sure that I'm holding them in place, and then moving the ear to shoulder a little bit, doing a little swami swirl with the crown of the skull. Just thinking all the way down into that elbow and forearm, where does that connect to my neck? Where does that connect to my shoulder? Of course, I'll move that knee boulder around behind the elbow, behind in the tricep, and find the most sensitive part and just stay there until it isn't so sensitive anymore. Breathe into it, dissipate that sensation. Find the culpable party. The mindlessness, the neglect. That's what we're just digging for. We have a lot to do, right? So this is just creating a conscious awareness of something that the subconscious needs to be focused on while we carry on the rest of our function. One more little press, one more little movement of the knee to discover. Maybe go up a little higher in the tricep by repositioning the knee. Cooking that till it's perfection. And sitting back, releasing that hand. Wrist first, fingers next. Painting the fence. Feeling the posture, feeling the arms released. Painting with both hands. All right, so let's talk about the ankles here. We just came from a pretty deep position. We're just going to shuffle up and work on a little more. So this is more for maybe the pointed foot, high heel position. We'll shift the weight, bring the hands down. And we're just going to focus that the heel doesn't come off the ground. Okay, we're going to focus so that the heel doesn't come off the ground. I can work this all the way to chest forward. Keep pushing that heel down. So as it comes forward, I'm pushing it back. And coming in and then sitting back down on it as long as I can until I feel it come up. And as I feel it come up, maybe you feel plantar fasciitis, which is that tendon right through the bottom of the middle of the foot. Definitely be patient with that. All right, that could be excruciating. You feel it more in the ball of the foot. Who knows what it could be, bone spurs or whatnot. So just be patient with it and just let that pressure push everything out, like wringing out a sponge. And then as you sit back, feel that sponge filling back up. That's fresh plasma and so forth, lymph. It's going to bring all types of wonderful goodness and healing to that part of the foot that apparently needs it. Okay, and I'm going to take that foot. I'm going to turn the knee down. I'm going to turn more than I need to. I can just turn to here. But I'll show you what it looks like. I'm just going to lay the foot down and sit right down on that foot and sit up tall. All right, so ideally the toes will touch in the back. Ideally the toes will touch just like that. Don't do any crossing for now unless that's more comfortable for you. Okay, so we'll just sit down. Toes will gently touch in the back. I'm just positioning. Maybe I can even position back a little bit, keeping the spine straight, tucking the hip. Just maybe even lift the knees a little bit, stretch that ankle. And we'll step to the other side. And we'll start focusing the same way. I'll bring that foot in, sit down right on that ankle, which is much tighter as I go forward and back. I can be in this open position. All right, close. Feel all the way in the big toe. So we're, here's the bottom of the foot, and we're just opening the bottom of the foot. Okay, here's the toes I want to grab. So all of this is basically opening back up. Okay, opening back up. So as we sit forward, it opens. And as we come back, the ball of the foot will lift back up a little bit, and that's where the blood will flow back in. So here's the knuckles of the ball of the foot, and here's the heel. So right here, I have this arch, and it's wonderful to have the arch. We're going to open that arch, put some pressure, and come back on it, and open it, and make sure that the entire arch is moving in unison, because it's really, it looks more like this, the arch. So if half of the foot is stuck, right, instead of moving like this is what we're working on. We want all those metatarsals moving around and open. Each knuckle of the foot before we get to the toe, we're pulling back and opening it. Of course, I'm demonstrating the phalanges, but this part of the foot, we're going to treat it as if it's fingers, and we're going, let's say right here at the ball of the foot, we're going to peel open right there. Take that ball of the foot and open it this way and open it this way. Of course, you'll feel that in the back of the calf, bottom of the calf around the Achilles. And we're going to take that foot and put it behind us. Toes will touch. We'll just sit down on that ankle. Stretch into it. Okay, wrist therapy. So we'll bring the hands down. We'll turn the hands back, forward, to the outside. And the distance between the hands and the knees will tell you how much weight is on the hands and the wrists. So we want to keep that distance close to start, and then at some point even apply the force that's possible. So with the hands back, we'll roll around the shoulders here, or the shoulders around the hands. Come all the way back to the fingers, all the way around the thumb. Keep the front of the wrists on the floor. Slow down and explore the tension with the breath. So you feel it, yes, but now breathe right to it. That's connecting the feeling to the physical sensation. That's important to be able to connect feelings with the emotional world and the physical world. Important connection. We have that connection, we can act on it. We're missing that connection. Sometimes we can't figure out how to get from the emotion back into that physical action. Go the other way. So in this case, the emotion would be pain, and the action would be the nervous response from a muscle pinch or a joint stretch, ligament stretch, tear, previous injury, scar tissue, etc., etc. Keep that wrist down. Oh, yes. All right, and let's sit back up and take the fence here. Lift the wrist, leave the fingers. Okay, and go right into open book. Okay, so we open the book. We're going to put the entire back of the hand to the ground, not just the fingers. Entire back of the hand, and we're going to roll the hand forward. As we roll the hand forward, we'll bring the shoulders back. Okay. Again, staying close to the knees for safety, and then I'll pitch forward to get the weight into the top two fingers. Okay. Little curls. Elbows straight, shoulders back. Keep that tension in the wrist. Again. Working up to what is possible. All right, we're going to peel cotton candy. So you pick up the hands. Peel cotton candy. You've seen this movement. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, last one. We're going to just slide the hands off the legs, fingers down. Okay, and then work with the elbows, turn the elbows back towards, shoulders back out of the neck. And it's basically the same movement here. Just making fists. Check those elbows. Hands close to the legs. Whatever practice is available. All right, and then let's release that and paint the fence once again. Oh yes, deep wrist cleansing. There we go. Okay. Bring the hands together. Place the fingers. Push down. Thumbs are going to slide. Push. Stretch the palm. Okay. Palms up. Hands to the floor, push forward. Stretch the shoulders, stretch the neck. And come back up. All right. Little fists, little fists. Okay, let's do some twisting. So let's have a seat. Okay. And we'll start here with the feet together, and we're just going to oscillate the spine. Okay. So the spine is going to move in this circle, and the head and the tailbone stay put. So this comes from pointing the chest and the tailbone. Use the hands. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now you can start exploring towards the back and towards the front more, a little deeper into the motion. Okay, sit back with the exhale, really stretch the spine. Inhale, exhale. And reverse. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Very nice. All right. So we're going to start with lying down. Stay with me. I'm sorry to get you at that angle, but here we go. Don't pass out. We're going to get that leg up here like this. Okay. If the foot is not accessible or the knee doesn't straighten, that's fine. You can take two hands and hold on the calf. If this isn't reaching where you can lie down comfortably, you just hold with one hand and keep the knee moving towards and extend the leg. So in other words, I'll keep this knee coming in and then work to straighten that leg. And I'm relaxing too. So all this tension in here where you're holding your head to look up, we're going to let all that go. Just take that stretch wherever it's accessible. Relax the shoulders into the floor. Relax the hip down. Let the knee straightening, and then the tailbone is being pushed to the ground by a straight leg. It's being driven straight down by that straight leg. It's just the weight of the arm on the toe, or the hand, or the knee. It's just the weight of the arm now. We're not really holding on so strong. Melting into the floor. And then very slowly letting this leg that's in the air open out to the side. Not letting go. We're going to keep that same restraint of motion. That range of motion is locked in by the arm. Just going to let that leg into the floor. Now this leg wants to pop up off the ground, the straight leg. So we might use our hand to hold that hip down. Flatten the spine. And then we're going to gently bring that leg across. As we do, we'll come up with the opposite hand. Or if the knee is bent, come like this. Bring that leg across. Don't let go of this leg. If you're here, don't let go. As we bring it down, go slow. And then pick up that shoulder and put it back down. Pick up the opposite shoulder, adjust the body, and then back to the floor. We can reach out to counterbalance that twist. We can work to straighten the twisting leg. We can take that free arm and push down on the hip and really lengthen through the back IT band, sciatic area. Slow breathing through the nose. Deep, slow breath. Feel that travel all the way down the back, through the butt, into the knee, into the foot, back into the hand, up into the shoulder, and back to the chest. All right, we're going to come out of that twist. Give a nice little hug. Maybe use two legs. And we can rock and roll side to side and just feel how back feels left side to right side. Sensitivity to that side should be something to pay attention to. What parts of the body are warm, which ones maybe never got anything out of that. We'll go to the opposite side. We'll extend the leg we just stretched, and we'll take that bent knee into a straightened leg. We'll grab the toe or the side of the foot and relax as much into the mat as possible. The tension is not the arm. We're just holding onto the toe or holding onto the knee. The tension is all coming from the static energy of the muscle in the back of the leg. We're relaxing as much as possible. The rest of the body kind of give that social cue, you might say. You know, if everyone in the library is quiet, let the leg do the same. So the rest of the body is nice and quiet. The breath is slow and deep. And we just let the leg figure out that we're really relaxed, that it's okay. It can stop holding guard so tensely. Try the inhale coming up the back of the leg. The exhale coming down the arm, back to the heart. Inhale at the base of the spine. The inflammation of the back of the leg where the hamstring is so tight and it inserts here at the top of the femur. All that expansion happens with inhale up the calf into the hand. And on the exhale, it's like that roller coaster ride. It just pours over the top of the crest and then runs back down towards the heart. Just feel how relaxing that is to have that recycled blood coming back, ready to take another load of oxygen to cool down and relax whatever tension's passing through there created by lactic acid. And we'll gently breathe that high leg down to the floor. Nice and easy. If we notice that the opposite hip is coming up, maybe we'll put our hand and create a little more weight with that straight leg. Keep the hip flat, shoulders are flat. One more slow breath. And gently bringing that leg across. We'll go up, grab the foot, hold the knee. We'll bring that across into the twist. And as that comes down, I'll adjust. And then put the shoulder back on the floor. So that front leg is straight. I'm holding strong with the hand. I'm in there pretty good. I can reach out. Or I can take this hand and just sweeten the stretch a little bit more. And I notice that I've sweetened it by hitting myself in the ear with the shoulder. So I'll bring that shoulder back out of the way. Let that shoulder rest down to the floor. And then when it's back in the body, I'll start to push again on the leg. Feed the relaxing breath through the body. I'll gently release that. And the knees back in. I bend knee in. Maybe both knees. Massage the back on the floor. Let's do some circles with the knees. So just like we did that Swami swirl, just roll and feel how the hip feels. How does the sacrum hit the ground? Is it an even touch? One side protruding more than the other? Explore. Is it the tag in your tag in your jersey? What exactly does it feel like? Is it the seam on your pants? What does it feel like? Well, what direction? Use the core muscles just to subtly press the entire spine down to the floor. All right, and set the feet down, and we're going to tuck the hips up off the ground. So just the hips, and the back, and the hips. Just the hips, and the back, and the hips. So relax the neck, look straight up, press the hips up, lower spine, and then inhaling, set the spine, hips. Exhaling, hips, spine, inhaling, spine, hips. One more time. All right. So we're going to lift up all the way. We'll tuck the hands underneath, and we're going to bring the hands together behind the back. Okay. So the game here is to build a platform for the spine. So I'm going to do that by tucking the shoulder in. And when the shoulder blade comes to the center, the paraspinal muscle right in the center of the two shoulder blades will pinch up and create a nice little cradle for my spine. And then from here, I'll tuck the hips up, bring the hands together, arms towards the floor, tuck a little bit more. Push the hips up high, squeeze the knees towards the center. And let the chin be compressed towards the chest. Breathe slow. And let's slowly bring the vertebrae down. Release the hands, tuck the hips, come down one vertebrae at a time. Feet off the ground, hug the knees to the chest. And we're going to roll to one side and go to our relaxed position here and just let the chin drop. So if I did this for an entire episode of something, this would be a serious problem. We're going to change sides. This is relieving that stress right in here. And also here, we're kind of pushing up on this ear. Okay, I'm kind of pushing up as I let the chin relax. I'll take that stretch right underneath the ear. Relaxing this shoulder as well. Remember, we're feeding relaxing vibes. We're feeding relaxing vibes through the body. Okay, gently coming up. And we can change sides just by rolling. I will do my best breakdancing. Almost my best. Okay, and again, I'm kind of setting myself in position and then resting. Nice easy breath. And we're just going to turn to the back. Turn to the back. Elbows are down, chest is up. Okay, we'll position up. Hips are relaxed. Do a little bobble with the head and then let the head come to the cradle. Teeth stay together. Breathe through the nose. Feel the air passing over the sternum. Keep lifting that sternum. And gently release, bringing the chin towards the chest. Rising up. As we're seated, we'll place the elbows on the knees and place the fingers. And we'll just sit up while our hands are stuck behind the head. And let's release. All right, so again, we don't want to be looking down all the time because that's already what we do. So just a gentle return after a nice long looking up, opening the chest and throat stretch. One final hurrah for the spine and the neck here. We're going to just place the chin into the hand. Breathe. Help yourself with your hands come out of that nice and easy. And we'll turn nice and easy in place. And we can catch and release. We don't have to just drop our head into it. We can meet ourselves, use our feet, we can meet ourselves, and then just position in. Relax the shoulders, breathe. Use the hands to return. A little bobble head here, a little bobble head. Just feel the atlas, the first vertebrae, where the cranium sits on top of the spine. Feel that connection. Besides that reptilian brain, reminded everything is okay. It's like working your animal hard and then giving it a petting and a treat. Pain is very primal, very easy to avoid it. But in our stretching practice, by our breathing, we overcome it, we face it. Or reverse that, we face it, we overcome it. This is our reward. We feel the body-mind connection right here, where the brain sits on top of the bones. Thank you for joining for practice. Certainly hope you feel as good as I do and you enjoy your day. Make it a wonderful one, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much.